decide it all right here. So let's get into the draft, rolling through again. Yep. And I have to say, once again, that Taliyah is starting to think about that one as well. DARKWINGS prefers a lot of control mages, and APA's by far most played champion of the year is Taliyah. There's a lot of good pairings still available for it. Vi is up and washing around the pool, so let's see.
Well, we've got Azir, Rumble, Poppy, Ziggs, and Karma banned out. Varus going to be that 6th ban here in the first half. C9 have elected to play first pick, so Sentinels have chosen blue side. I would not be surprised at all to see that Taliyah be the first pick that you're talking about.
Yeah, Vi Taliyah is a really good combo at this stage in the game because that burst damage, those dive comps can kill Yunaras. So maybe that'll be actually a Sentinels angle that they go for in response to it. But Yunara Lulu is the expected here for Cloud9. Zven has loved Yunara ever since the champ came out. They played a lot of games very aggressively with the Yunara Lulu combination.
Well, I feel vindicated in the stat that just popped up when that was locked in, because I was thinking after the week 1 games that we had seen, I was like, man, the Yunara priority just feels a little dishonest to me, because I feel like every time we see her, she's getting her butt kicked. And then the stats just popped up, 0 and 6 so far.
Can I interest you in a Vi Taliyah, perhaps, to kick her butt?
That sounds like something that might be able to apply boot to butt.
Maybe they can actually accomplish that and kill off the Yunara. At least the Vi part locked in early. They could go for other pairings like Ahri or whatever type of stuff they want to go for kills. But it's always good to have the point and click to take down these hyper carries and put a stop to the Yunara team fights. And so we'll shift on through. Okay, they do go another route, and the Annie instead, the AoE route, pretty nice here. Flash Annie plays have been very big. DARKWINGS, though, we'll see how he can navigate this. Usually he's high DPS for the team fights, but not necessarily an initiator. And now we'll be on a quick timer here with Vi and Annie ultis and burst damage at their disposal. Cloud9, when you're looking at those dive comps that burst damage, they want a big old tank for the Yunara.
And there's not much of a larger brick wall in League of Legends than the Sion. So that will be the pick here for Thanatos and for C9. Might go with their mid laner here as well. I mean, you kind of have to make a pick, right? Like whichever one you pick out of mid or jungle, they're going to ban towards the other pool in the second half, right?
Maybe both then, because the pickup here for support, we're going to get the NEeko combination. Could be APA's mid.
Because it's APA.
Yeah, honestly.
Like most mids won't play it, but he will.
Yeah, honestly, it actually does look decent here. It does look pretty good for a mid lane NEeko angle too, so they can keep it flex for sure. Of course, it could be a way of like baiting out a Lulu ban. Or steal or something like that. Regardless, into the Yunara, you have some options. I kind of, personally, I like the Aphelios option.
Okay.
And Aphelios Infernum ults would go huge with this teamfight comp, with your burst damage on the side of Sentinels. I like the Aphelios into the Yunara because you can actually contest the level 1 with your green gun. There's a lot of work there, and then you scale super nicely, and you can have huge crit damage. You can have huge burst damage as well if you're good controlling your guns. But we'll see what angle they go with. Definitely a lot of them here. You don't want Nocturne and NEeko engages. That pairing is super scary.
No,
so
that's nasty.
I do like the Nocturne ban there from Sentinels.
No, the Lucian ban will be the first one to come through here from C9 in the second half. They don't want to have that Yunara have to deal with the potential early power down there in the bottom lane that Lucian can provide. And we will be seeing double jungle bans coming out from Sentinels and Gold and Blue here. The Nocturne alongside that Wukong that they want to get rid of.
All right. We did go, I guess Xin would be the other like primary AD jungle that is up. And Xin is a good dueler. Is good early into Vi, and you could try and get some early skirmishes or objectives going your way. Some people do like invading Vi's early as well, because she is not the strongest early on. Let's see though, you're gonna also have to worry about the lanes and get some good lanes in order to do that. All right, what's it going to be? Since they banned Lucian and Rakan, they could steal away this Lulu. Yeah.
Yeah, you just take Lulu, and then it's not like they're going to pick Aphelios here. You can just pick Aphelios on 5.
Yeah. Could. Let's see what else they want to go for. Sometimes with Aphelios, you want like Thresh to have the reposition.
Okay.
So maybe with the Lulu, like, it's just like Jinx also carry into it.
Okay.
Or do you want something still with its own mobility? Regardless, huh? I mean, everything is still flexible, right? Because you can do a HamBak or Impact with the Ambessa. I would prefer, just personally as the players, I think HamBak would be the better Ambessa player, and I feel more comfortable.
Where would Vi go though?
Oh, I'm totally trolling.
Okay, I was like, has Impact been secretly working on a top lane Vi? That would be crazy.
Oh, actually, yeah, I'm kind of scared, actually. Impact Ambessa versus Thanatos Gwen? Ooh, scary. Okay, well, the Malphite is the answer here for Blaber. All right, so they do get their very strong engage. Okay, very, very strong. Are we?
Wait, is it mid lane Sion?
Wait, is it mid lane Malphite for APA, and it's jungle Gwen?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Hold on, I'm still confused.
We got Xayah on the other side. I know where Xayah is going.
Is it jungle Blaber or is it mid lane Sion? Can you go for the tank? You can go tank.
That's what I was thinking
go.
At first was mid lane Sion, and Annie can just never kill him.
Yeah, mid lane Sion doesn't have a lot of plays, but it is very successful when it does get plays. And your Soul Furnace, and you can just sustain through Annie, and Annie's all about burst damage. Okay, so there we go. Now everything's making sense.
Yeah.
And we get the mid lane Sion into it, the tank. Okay.
So we've got a lot of engage, a lot of burst, some dive power here on the Sentinels side. Ambessa, Annie, and Vi all going in together is very scary stuff. Xayah is also one of the champions that can peel for herself more effectively than others can. If Malphite's ulting you from a long distance, you can reactively use your R to dodge away from him. But over on the other side, yeah, we've got two really big meatballs in the Malphite and the Sion together here to be the front line, and Yunara to be that scaling threat that will deal the damage from behind later on.
Okay, APA with the Sion mid, and it's also a Malphite jungle, so it's tank mid and tank jungle.
Yeah, that's it's not a lot of damage between those two.
But if your opponents are Vi and Annie a lot of burst damage, then, you know, maybe there is the angle.
I can respect it. I like to see this type of creativity. You're up against something that you know is just turbo dive, turbo burst, so make something that even if you kill him, he just stands back up, farms the wave, and then comes back in a second anyway.
Let's see. How effectively can APA continue to farm, stack up his Soul Furnace in mid lane, and remain safe from ganks?
Okay, just checking in here because anytime you see one of these assignments, it's abnormal. I always want to look at the keystones and whatnot. APA taking the Summoner Spellbook on the Sion in this one just for the extra creativity, the extra versatility of options as the game goes on. Everything else does seem like pretty standard stuff here. Again, I do want to see how this top lane matchup is going to go. I honestly do like it a lot better seeing Thanatos on something like Gwen that can be more of a carry, because I feel like he should be able to build an advantage and punish Impact.
Yeah, Thanatos. Really big fan of Gwen. Definitely one of his favorite champions and has the carry potential for sure. I'm still interested about the mid lane matchup here for APA with his Sion cook, because I'm assuming you rush Hollow Radiance. That just seems so...
Like probably. Like, that's the Galio
It seems so good for, like, mid-lane push and just sustain through any of the harassment and damage that the Annie's going to throw your way.
Plus, you get the Explodey passive to make it so even if he has priority over the wave to clear it out, you just insta-respawn and clear it.
Yeah.
So, nothing to that. Yunara, 7 consecutive losses. The longest active loss streak in the LCS right now. Thank you, producers, graphics, stats, everybody, for vindicating yet again my feeling that this champ just hasn't been performing. Oh, they got 2 of them?
There were 2 Yunaras on your screen there with the NEeko turning into an extra one, so that's...
If Sentinels wins this, that means she's 0-9.
Wow.
That's she loses
crazy.
Twice.
Is that how those stats work? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's totally how the stats work. I could definitely be a stats guy. Statistician.
So far, It is looking pretty good for DARKWINGS still, and he's getting some good push, and he's getting some good pressure as well. And both junglers, since both junglers are tank junglers that are really level 6 oriented tank junglers. And wait a second, Impact actually got some a good trade there, and gets control of top.
I like that for Impact. Let's see if he can stand up to the test that is playing carry versus carry against Thanatos.
Yeah.
Because that is not an easy test to pass.
I wouldn't bet on it. So, yeah, props to him. Let's see. We'll continue to check how it goes. Thanatos going to go for his recall now with his teleport. Let's see.
Well, we talked about, remember game number 1 was after Cloud9 got in control, we talked about how important it is for Sentinels to have a positive mental attitude. Don't let yourself get tilted. Come into game 2, fresh new game. You're losing game 2 for 90% of it. You come back and win because you stayed. Positive mental attitude. Now coming here into game 3, the question is, can Cloud9 shake it off? Because I feel like, yeah, you're going to beat yourself up for the big blunder and the throw at the end of game number 2, but you are also winning for 90% of that game.
I 100% agree, Flowers. I also am still looking at the Sion answer into Annie mid, and DARKWINGS was up 10 CS already at 3 minutes. So that's a price you pay, I guess, for it.
But that's kind of expected. I mean, before you really get your Soul Furnace stacks, before you get any magic resistance, it can be a little bit of a pain there. He goes back to base. Unfortunately, his first buy, he doesn't have enough money to complete the full Spectre's Cowl, which feels so nice. So yeah, he has a cloak and a bead and a cookie.
Nice. A cookie to go with his drink, his potion.
He's eating well. Part of a balanced breakfast for Sion.
The reason I'm so focused on it, Flowers, is because you know what happens when Annie, of all champions, has control of a lane? She roams all the time, and then she makes it everybody else's problem. And this is a burst champion with a speed up with her shield. And so if your Annie has control of the lane mid, then you have a hard time controlling the rest of the game because the Annie gets the push mid and then go roam. So Sion, you know, theoretically has the ultimate to be able to follow. So if you can get to your Hollow Radiance and have very, very easy wave clear, and even before that, you can kind of receive waves. Maybe you can like follow plays a little bit later with your ult.
Well, right now, the only thing APA is following is his little minions right towards the enemy wave as he sits there and watches Annie farm it first, since that's just the nature of this matchup early on. Thanatos versus Impact back up in the top side. I think this one's going to get spicy here shortly because they're both almost level 6. As now APA fires off the ulti in mid. DARKWINGS forced to flash away as Blaber shows up and tags him with the seismic shard. So the slow would have been a serious threat there. But now APA just kind of hangs around. There's no way, right? There's
he's good. He's good.
It's the cookie. It's the cookie.
He doesn't have to flash. He's not scared. You know, he's...
Well, Blaber might be, because now it's HamBak, huhi, and Rahel invading the C9 jungle. They knock Blaber down below half HP. They force him to flash over the wall. So we got some moves coming out in multiple places.
Yeah. APA fighting Sion, Rahel now fighting Zven and Vulcan.
Yeah, and Rahel eats a lot of damage from the blooming burst there, so he's down below half now.
So the last time we had the mid Sion in LCS was in 2024, in the beginning, in spring. Insanity was the last one to play him.
Okay.
I think M&S did it when he was on C9 as well at some point. I know they played, you know, Cassante and a decent amount of other tanks mid too, but APA himself, the last time he specifically played Sion was in Tier 3 when he had just started in 2021. And the better part of those stats, Flowers, is that in his Sion games, 2 of his career, they lost both of those.
Okay, well, that's not a good sign. Also,
but that was also a long time ago.
That stat just made me realize 2021 was 5 years ago.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. That's crazy. Okay, I don't want to think about that anymore.
He won his little fight he had with Tibbers there. He didn't flash. He didn't flinch. He was like, I can predict the Tibbers damage. It's just a slow burn. This is manageable.
And his reward for that bravery is now he has his coat. Spectre's Cowl completed, going to make this lane feel a little bit cozier, a little bit nicer. Up here in topside, we have our level 7s now. I want to see when we get these ultis.
And the reason you're highlighting this, Flowers, and it's so important, look at the amount of sustain now the APA has. He has the Spectre's Cowl regeneration, the Doran Shield regeneration, the refillable potion regeneration, and the cookies still coming. So now you're like the CS deficit shouldn't get much worse, right? He should be completely fine to soak damage, damage after damage after damage now, and just blow up minion waves. So he has weathered the the early game deficit and should be fine to annihilate minion waves from here on out and sustain through a lot of the threats. So we'll see if the skies get clear from here on out.
Exactly what you just saw mid. You pop Soul Furnace, you charge Decimating Smash, you let it go, pop the Furnace again for the detonate, you farm the whole wave, and there's not really anything APA, or excuse me, the Darkwings can do about it, because he doesn't want to just vomit all of his spells into a Sion shield.
That's actually another cool thing. If you play Sion mid, if you can steal away Raptors, like the jungle camps, little Raptors and stuff, they count for your Soul Furnace too. You burn these things up, and you can be you get a lot of passive stacks.
And those little chickens are garbage. They die to like one big smash.
Yeah, it's hard to steal them away if the enemy jungle is actually there, because you're a mid laner and like they have a lot of tools you know, to deal with it. But if you can snipe even just a couple of those, it feels quite nice. Stack up a lot of extra HP.
Man, we still don't have any kills 8 minutes into this game, though, but I guess that kind of is the nature of you've got a tank against an Annie-Vi combo that normally wants to try to make plays around mid. Top side, neither one of our carries have really been willing to be the one that might overcommit. Things still with a slight favor towards Thanatos, but Impact just about one wave behind here. Again, both have ultis, but no junglers are paying attention towards this part of the map. Sentinels did secure the first Drake of the game for themselves a little bit earlier on, but no individual gold leads even totaling 200 just yet, as Zven and Vulcan will try to grab a little bit more money from the plates down here versus Rahel and Huhi, who are trapped under the turret for now.
Farm, farm, farm. Blaber's got an ulti, though, and he wants to use it. So Malphite's going to say hello, push you under tower, and honestly, Sion's going to come too. The full roam here. Cloud9 will push the bottom lane out.
Okay, Huhi's going to try to get away from this Malphite, but the point-blank unstoppable force locks Huhi up a little bit longer. There is no wild growth. He's only a level 5 Lulu, so that's first blood for Blaber at C9.
Oh, they get the kill, and they can fully zone Rahel from the minions. Can they just keep this blockade up? Rahel wants to get back in for the minions. Recalls are channeling, so he's going to be able to get in there for the next wave at the very least. But, yeah, they're winning CS on bottom side. They make a successful gank and roam play here. So setting up Zven for success this time around. Blaber ends up being able to get the kill. They definitely needed to grab that kill, because with the flash, he was close to getting under his tower.
Uh-oh. Impact, though, might just be caught proxying now as he tries to flash over the wall.
What in the...
Yeah, we don't need to know about HamBak right now. We got to keep our eyes on Impact as he continues trying to escape. Blaber with the flash forward. Just tries to keep Impact locked up a little bit more. Most of Ambessa's cooldowns are still spent. APA rotates over. There is so little damage between the mid and jungle of C9. They need a little bit more. Flash, decimating smash, and APA gets it done. So C9 are going to find their second kill of the game there, as Impact was just a little bit too audacious with his positioning.
Yo, and APA gets to spam his taunt too, so that's like a power-up. That's a big boost for him.
The BM bonus.
You get to spam the Sion taunt there after the kill. Thanks, Impact.
And as Impact was putting himself so far forward up there, the one thing I was going to mention, because I know you love mentioning when this item comes up in a game, your MasterCard power spike there for Blaber, completing the Zeke's convergence after he got the kill for that, or got the credit for that kill in the bottom lane. This is a great thrift store item for tank junglers. Gives you a ball of a little bit of everything you want, plus synergizes so well with Malphite's ulti.
Yeah, it's so good. You ult onto them, you get the big slow around, and then your Q slow as well. And there is a little like feature / bug in the game.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure if it's intended or not still.
Where the slow actually stacks, and pretty much all slows don't, but anyways, they are going to burn through this dragon. Blaber is here. He's got a smite. 900 for him, 900 for HamBak. Who gets it?
Blaber wants it, and Blaber gets it. Just walks on up, yoinks it away. HamBak charges in with a vault breaker, but that's only the enemy Malphite. They're not worried about the Vi trying to hit him at all. HamBak continues full sending it forward, flashes out of the wall to stay away, stay alive. Zven's the first to die. DARKWINGS grabbing the kill credit on that one, as Vulcan gets a pop. Blossom to buy a little bit of time, but Sentinels now look for the kill into APA. Blaber's the next to try to escape, but a nice polymorph keeps him in place. Meanwhile, Vulcan has to run away from Tibbers the entire time. Rahel with a flash out to stay alive as APA's dead body tries to chase after him. It's a bloodbath of a fight around the dragon. We might not be done just yet. Public execution over the wall chases Blaber. Impact wants this next kill. He finds it as Vulcan tries to snipe out Rahel in the very back end of the fight, but he can't quite get there. So both AD carries gonna walk out there.
Nice position there from Impact after he ults on
the NEeko and the AD carry, my bad.
Yeah, after he ults onto Blaber and then he sticks on the wall to try and like body block a little bit, make sure he can't run away. This fight got crazy though, Flowers. After Blaber steals the dragon, then Sentinels are like, all right, fine, we teleport in, we're gonna bring everybody. Vi ultimate goes down, and they do get a flash out for HamBak, so he does get to live. Meanwhile, inside the pit, you got the big ulti there, locking everybody else up, and Sentinels collect a lot of extra gold here. So Cloud9, they did get the dragon, and you can see on the minimap this time, Gwen is split pushing up there.
Yeah.
So the teleport was used from Sentinels, but this was a nice little snipe there, and then Impact positions here, so Blaber can't get away either. I guess regardless, was going to be able to get it.
You can see sometimes there's not a whole lot of comms that you have about the play. Sometimes you just got to focus back up and get ready for the next move. That next move is about 90 seconds from now. The Rift Herald will be spawning onto the map, and I got to keep eyes on what you were talking about just there at the end of the team fight, Kobe. Thanatos not joining. Thanatos deciding he's going to stay up in the top lane, continue split pushing, see what he can do with that teleport advantage before Impact gets his own teleport back up to try to respond to anything. Thanatos is the only TP currently active on the Rift. Everyone else's is on cooldown.
Let's see if they can actually do anything, because he's against Annie on the top side of the map, and he does have his needlework. I wonder how, if he fancies that all in or not, because currently he's giving control of the wave over to DARKWINGS. So looks like for the time being, it's going to be Sentinels pushing both mid and top.
Okay, and speaking of mid and top, those are the two places where Sentinels currently have their own gold leads. The biggest gold lead, however, honestly, as much as those two solo leads put together, is Zven on the Yunara. 0, 1, and 3 on this one so far, so hasn't been able to pick up any of the kills, but he does have his Kraken Slayer done. He does have his Cull cashed in. He's feeling very strong right now, and if C9 want to fight for this Rift Herald, I want to see him fight around Yunara.
And HamBak's been sitting up here a while. So there were some blue pings here. Sentinels were probably calling some sort of dive play or something onto Thanatos. But even with sitting around up there, you know, HamBak kind of waits around and try push for a while. They call off the play. It takes a long time, and then Thanatos does successfully escape and just leaves recalls, and they go for a lane swap instead, put him mid. So Cloud9, the lane allocations avoid any death while there's a Vi ultimate and Annie ultimate, both that Sentinels want to use and are trying to find an opportunity.
He just wants to start this up. Immediate Vault Breaker towards the Herald. Blaber is hanging around nearby. Vulcan with the Tangle Barbs there, just trying to make sure that he gets every little bit of chip damage on towards huhi's health bar that he can. Blaber is going to notice HamBak now. Back over in the mid lane, Thanatos versus Impact. They're now alerted to the fact that this fight's going on. HamBak, that's the second Vault Breaker that he shortchanged in the past minute or so, so he's going to have to time that spacing a little better in the future. Down to 40% HP now, but he gets back over the wall towards DARKWINGS, but he gets juggled around, beaten down. Blaber taking the kill as HamBak's first to fall, but Vulcan dies to Impact on the right side of the fight right after. Now Thanatos has to be careful because Rahel and huhi are moving his way. Zven finally has arrived here into the mid lane, but HamBak is down. That is a problem for trying to secure objectives on the Sentinel side, but they at least got the one back onto Vulcan.
I gotta say, Impact's Ambessa has been a pleasant surprise this game. He's doing quite well on this, on a carry champion for himself. Some good confidence here from Impact, and 3 kills on him now. See if he's going to be able to, you know, put the big pressure onto the Yunara later on. Of course, that is going to be a huge metric of success of this team. The Yunara damage and the Gwen damage are the biggest for Cloud9 and the biggest kind of problems that they're going to have to deal with. So if Impact and the rest of the dive here can annihilate him. Take a look at this, though.
Thanatos versus Impact down on the bottom lane, already breaking out. Impact trying to avoid the sweet spots there with the Qs, and Impact just gets beaten down there in the 1v1. one, he did not have his ulti available to use. It was still on cooldown from before, and as soon as Thanatos recognizes that, he goes in for the kill. The entire time, it also means C9 has Drake control, so they'll pick that up too.
Also, as soon as I compliment him.
Yeah, that was a caster curse of all time. That was definitely... Yup.
Sorry.
Yep, I think you crashed the Ambessa car on that one.
Yeah, in the first game, Sentinels crashed. In the second game, Cloud9 crashed. And in the third game, I crashed.
Yeah, these cars are taking a beating, man. Everybody's insurance is going through the roof. But C9 are now also going to rotate up towards the top side of the map. So not only do they get the advantage 2-1 in Dragons now, they get the Rift Herald without having to fight for it. Neutral objective game is going their way, and they're up 2,500 gold as a team.
All right, well, honestly, yeah, like now it's just going so well. APA is a massive tank. He's got because he's mid laner, he gets the upgraded shoes for the armor shield, and then he has Hollow Radiance for, you know, his lane versus Annie that he rushed that we're looking for, and then yeah, I mean, he also did steal away some with the Soul Furnace, by the way, from the Raptors. If you get a large camp, like a large jungle monster, it counts as a champion takedown. It counts for 15 extra health instead of just 4 for like minions and stuff. Nice. So he's got some good value out of being a mid lane Sion here.
Let's see. Where are we driving this?
We're driving straight down mid.
Straight down mid. Straight down mid lane.
Whoa,
no,
not straight.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, he crashed. No.
Blaber. Blaber, you just ran it straight off the road. What in the hell was that?
Huh? Flowers, our game 1 analogy of the car crash has just never been so real. It was just perfect. Who wrote the script for this thing? What the? Blaber is driving down. He's crashing, like literally crashing past the tower. How do you miss those? Those towers don't move. I will say Rift Herald is a little bit like the hitbox is skinnier than people would assume because of the bulk of the Shelly.
Okay, well now, all right, that time APA didn't hit the target with the Sion ulti, but that's because Impact flashed away from it.
It wasn't a crash.
Yeah,
it was good.
that one's not APA's fault, and they still get the kill onto Impact there to bring it back. Man, what the?
I love it. Okay, Blaber, you know Blaber's always good for some like mid-game comic relief. Some good he's got one funny play in him. Okay. At least, for sure.
Well, all right, the play was definitely funny. I will give it that, like 2 thumbs way up for the funny value of it. But I think for C9, they're probably hoping that, all right, that's enough. Let's get back to this being a drama.
Here we go. All right, so we fully aced our driving test. Now it's time for the in-person test. All right.
Okay.
Blinkers are on, turning around our tower. There you go. Left turn. Great. Straight down mid. Okay.
Right
turn, right into this thing. Look at that. It's so skinny. That's what I'm saying. You would assume with the bulk of Shelly that the hitbox would also be there. However, I'm not going to give you a pass.
Dom's face.
I'm not going to give you a pass, Blaber, even though it looks...
I missed the tower. Sorry.
I'm not going to give you a pass because anyone who's played and gotten into Rift Heralds knows that the hitbox is like small like that.
It's weird, yeah.
And so you're always like, all right, I got to hit this thing dead on. Right,
dead center.
I got to hit him with the
You're not
head
clicking
of the
it with a headlight. Yeah. You got to hit it with the whole grill.
But that was... That is hilarious.
Okay, yeah.
So it happens to the best of us, okay?
Dom's facepalm reaction, as it happens to, was an all-time classic. I feel like anytime you miss the tower with the Herald, that's how anybody in that moment feels. Okay,
great.
It's still a good game state for C9 overall, right? They're still ahead in pretty much every metric.
Just a little comic relief, okay?
Yeah, just a little
mid-game,
a little side plot.
Mid-game joyride.
A filler episode.
Yeah, joyride there. He's still 1.5 thousand gold ahead.
Yeah, he's having a great time. He's got his...
He paid off his ticket.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it was. He had to pay off the ticket for speeding in the Herald. Vulcan's getting caught now, though. This could be a problem for C9 as they cannot find any way to keep him alive long enough for the counterplay to happen.
Could be a big problem.
Thanatos was thinking about it. He already TP'd in here. Now he has found an angle for some needlework onto Impact. DARKWINGS has his stun ready to go. Sentinels, they want to turn around and wombo combo the enemy solo laners. Blaber's jumping in to try to help. Thanatos staying alive. Drain tank, but Impact gets the kill on him. Zven firing back over the wall, but now Blaber's in danger. Impact's Ambessa is tearing these guys up. They won't quite be able to find the kill, but now they got to be careful as APA and Zven are wrapped around the right side of the fight. 2 dead on the Sentinels side, 2 dead on the C9 side, with Vulcan respawning by the time it's all done.
I think best move here is Impact's timing on his ult. He uses his ult to immune the knockup from the Sion ult, and then they get in there with the Lulu knockup, and it looks great for Sentinels. They kill off Thanatos, but they're in there so tanky. Zven over the wall, snipes the kill onto HamBak, and Blaber's so tanky with his protoplasm harness. He stays alive, heals up, and he lives, and so in the end, they actually got 2 of the kills. They killed both the Lulu as well as the Vi, because Zven was able to get him over the top of the Baron pit, so it actually didn't end up bad for Cloud9, even though it started out looking like it was going to.
Impact hanging around up here in this top side, doesn't seem particularly afraid of APA's Sion, but does still need to be mindful of the amount of health that he is down against this guy. However, he also is mindful that he has his whole team coming to help him. So APA ends up baiting himself into a bit of a tricky spot, but he makes enough distance there by using the flash to get far enough away from the enemy champions that he can start the ultimate and not be interrupted. APA will live. It does cost him his flash, and it does cost C9 losing their tier 1 turret.
And I presume the reason why he was confident up there and didn't think there was going to be a lot of people is because his team was getting Dragon. So now you have Dragon Soul point for Cloud9. Yeah. And not only that, but APA still got away. And he's like, yo, these guys are up here. We've got 4 people.
4 dudes.
That's free Dragon, right? And indeed, Cloud9 now looking at Dragon Soul in 4.5 minutes. Maybe even before that, looking at a blue buff steal and a Baron start. There's a pings onto this Baron right now.
Okay.
Hold on, Thanatos has got to run away, but the rest of the team is on top side for Cloud9. They do put the controller down, but they think better of it.
I'm out. No.
Yeah, he was having a fun time with that one. He's chilling. Meanwhile, movement, he says. Always one to take the advantage.
Baron
to yap.
I mean, that's Baron Flowers.
Yeah, Sentinels, I mean, they're going to get the tier 1 turret, but surely they know something's going on here. There's nobody on the map anywhere. Impact is pushing bottom with no resistance. Everybody else pushing mid with no resistance. Where could they possibly be? Well, the answer is Baron, and C9 now just get it uncontested 24 minutes into the game.
Sentinels got a turret plate off bottom and the rest of the mid turret that was still standing there. AP is pretty tanky.
Yeah, they're going to full send the Vi ultimate, the whole kitchen sink after him. And they do get the shutdown there. So that always feels really nice if your opponents manage to grab the Baron and you can immediately find a pick right after. You force them to be 4v5 on the map for the next 45 seconds or whatever, and they lose a lot of power.
Impact missed the cannon minion though.
RIP -1. Yeah, that makes it feel less cool.
He was thinking about like maybe going to interrupt Thanatos' recall, and then he just dashed too far away from the cannon.
Vulcan,
so
a river puppy?
A river puppy?
A river puppy. I feel like though that doesn't actually do the camouflage job.
I gotta rewind and look at this river puppy? What?
Yeah, dude, he was a river puppy. He turned into a puppy and walked around in the river. He was transformed in one of the baby wolves, but I don't really know how this like works as a camouflage, because why would the baby wolf ever be in the river?
Well, it hides you. It's just you hides you on the mini map, so that camouflages.
Oh, okay. So you're just.
But I agree with you that if someone saw a wolf in the river, they would be a little suspicious.
A little hesitant. I wonder what that's doing down there.
Yeah.
Why is the wolf there? But okay.
But it's cute.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's just what you want to do. You just want to walk around as a wolf for a little bit.
River puppy.
Well,
he wants to be cute. You know, he's headed to Coachella, going to take some Instagram pictures.
Yeah, just be a Instagram celebrity dog.
I'm just a river puppy.
River puppy.
Don't mind me.
Just a puppy in the river. All right, we've got, so honestly for Sentinels, they've closed the gold gap some. It was closer to like 3,000 gold earlier. Now we're back down to about 1.5, 2,000 gold. C9 still trying to get some value out of this Red Bull Baron power play that is still in the negative, considering they just got Baron, APA died, and then that's kind of it. So they want to try to at least force this tier 2 turret down here. It's nice and crusty. You get a ton of extra.
Nice and crusty.
That's what it is, man. There's crust all over. You can get free damage.
They can't touch it though. You can look. Oh,
nope. There you go. There goes all the
You
turret
got it.
cross. C9's going to make the play down there, but meanwhile, back over from the mid lane, Rahel has the DPS for days. HamBak sets it up. Rahel knocks it down, and they'll make it a 2-for-0 over here in mid as Thanatos and Blaber both get picked.
What the hell is going on? Flowers Cloud9 just dropped 2 kills just like that.
Yep. Well, it turns out LDR being completed means Blaber and Thanatos both feel way less comfortable about their frontlining.
That's true. You should feel very uncomfortable. Those feathers are flying through. You basically get no armor. You're getting shredded by Vi with denting blows and Black Cleaver. Whoa, Vi might get caught though.
Yeah, he tries to vault break away, but man, the reinforcements are numerous. They even managed to hand the kill over to Zven's Yunara, so a nice punish there by C9.
Yeah, all right. We're going to have to start handing out our own punishments. You're going for Krugs on top side of the map when the rest of your team all in base, all on bottom side. That is some greed.
Yeah, and it's a deadly sin, my friend, because here's the problem. That Ocean Soul you mentioned earlier for C9, that's spawning in 15 seconds. HamBak's not alive for 25.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Golden Glue's going to have to hand out some punishment, bro. What in the world? You are greedy as hell.
Well, it looks like that level of greed is going to be sin punished for the entire team, as nobody on Sentinels knows they can contest this right now. They're not even going to go towards it.
Costly Krugs.
Yeah, costly Krugs. I like that. Alliteration always makes everything sound a little bit better.
But costly is like with a C and then Krugs are with a K, so.
Well, it's because English is a silly language where the letters make the same sound, even if it's a different letter, right?
I'm down. You get full points for that.
It's why I always got pissed off at Chempunk Chainsword, because it's a CH and a CH, and one says K and one says Ch.
You know what?
Just don't make any sense.
I'm with you, Flowers.
Yeah.
I'm ride or die. We got to do something about that.
And the whole series today has been ride and die, because everybody is just taking these cars and running them off the road the whole time. 10 versus 10 now, though. 2,000 gold separates the game, but C9 did just secure Ocean Soul for themselves.
They did.
And you have such a tanky team.
Did they secure it for themselves, or did HamBak secure it for them?
Okay, I'm not gonna be BM. I'm just gonna say
philosophical debate right now. What do you think, chat? Who secured that Dragon Soul? Was it HamBak or was it Cloud9?
HamBak.
I'm gonna need to see some votes with IDs.
Yeah, I think you're probably going to get a lot of one answer in the Twitch chat.
Who
for that
secured the soul?
Well, I think that Ocean Soul is going to give a ton of value because you have such a tanky squad on the C9 side. Yeah. Ocean Soul is one of those things where if your team's really squishy and you're always just going to get snapshot insta-killed, it doesn't really do much. But with Blaber on Malphite, with APA on Sion, even Gwen is a drain tank, right? Like, there's so much value that you can get out of this. And now we have a TP coming in. Sentinels could find themselves on the receiving end of a pincer attack from C9. APA soaking the damage here in the middle at first, but he has to flash back away. Meanwhile, the attention gets turned over onto DARKWINGS, who's about to be focused down. Thanatos grabbing the first kill there as the Guardian Angel is forced out, and Impact kills Vulcan. Sentinels trying to scramble to play around Rahel. He chases after Zven. He wants the kill. Aggressive Xayah ulti, but no! Rahel overplays his hand, and C9 will take the fight from it. It's a 4-for-1 trade.
That was crazy. Zven Pepega-frogged Rahel while he was in the fight, running away from him right after he flashed at him. Holy, that's the end of the game, Flowers!
That's the end of the whole series.
Can we end?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. The end is nigh. C9, it was a battle of a series here against Sentinels. Game number 3, the closest of them, I would have to say, but it was C9 who ultimately triumphed. It is C9 who will go up to a total of 8-2 in 2026 against Sentinels now. They've got this team figured out.
Well,
mostly. There's the Rift
There's
Herald.
a couple of things left to figure out.
Rift Herald maybe still needs some more figuring.
Driving test.
Garner flash slam into wall maybe needs some more figuring. But other than that stuff, Other than that stuff,
nailed it.
They got this well figured out. Look, everybody has a question on the test that you don't know. You just answer all the rest of them first and make something up to that last one. Right? That's fine. That's how you do it.
You don't need 100% on the test to pass the test.
Exactly. A's for days, D's for degrees. We're having a good time here. Stay in school. Anyway, spam right now in chat who is your player of the game as C9 take the series. You can see APA making his way down the hallway right now, heading towards the lounge. So lounge, how are we feeling about that one?
Did not have strict parents because if I got D's, my parents would kick my ass.